have my secrets, nothing more. I check the drawers, I check the spikes, left me hanging in my Nikes. Last night we tore up the town, now my wallet's not around. Call the cops or play it smooth, pay my debts and start anew. Hey, hey, where'd it go? My cash, my cars, my flow. Don't you know what's gone? Now I'm broke from dusk till dawn. Dancing lights and screaming bass, drinks were flowing in that place. Left a tip but lost my grip, now my wallet's gonna slip. Check your jackets, check the shoes, hope it's not lost to the booze. Count your blessings, count your charms, it's not awful but it harms. Hey, hey, where'd it go? My cash, my cards, my flow. Don't you know what's gone? Now I'm broke from dusk till dawn. Dancing lights and screaming bass, drinks were flowing in that place. Left a tip but lost my grip, now my wallet's gonna slip.
What up, what up, what up, everybody? So today is Friday Eve. Hopefully, y'all are having a wonderful time out there. Today is something I want to talk about is actually trying to avoid those toxic situations. Because when you think about toxicity, it's something that really doesn't sit well with you and something that you need to avoid. But by definition, it is a very harmful and unpleasant in a pervasive or insidious way. So when you think about it, these are things that are actually very unpleasant and very pervasive. And what I mean by pervasive is really talking about the spreading of something that's like widely through an area or a group of people. So if this thing is so unpleasant and it's spreading wildly, or just in a way that doesn't seem to sit right with you, this is where you need to start thinking about, I don't need to be here. Get this out of my life and let's move on. And this is where I find that a lot of my clients have been dealing with this toxic situation that they're in, but it's mostly based on the things that they allowed to happen without having those proper boundaries. And that's why I wanted to talk about having these tough times can create strong people. And by creating such a strong people or creating such a strong self can cause you to actually cut off a lot of things that are beneficial. So how do you weave through all of that toxicity, create your boundaries, and find yourself again? One of the ways of doing so is by first acknowledging what it is that you want in life. What do you want out of it? Now, yes, is talking about finances, but we need to understand like, hey, from a financial standpoint, this is something that is really going to help me go to that next level that I want to be in financially. I need to get all this toxicity out of my life. I got to get all this toxic money habits, which is I'm going out to the store to buy candy that I don't really need. I'm buying junk food for people that I don't even care for. I'm buying pies. I mean, shucks, Pie Day is tomorrow. At the time of this recording, which is March 13th, tomorrow is Pie Day. And you buying all the other people so you can fit in. Now, I know they always talk about like, yeah, make sure you want to fit into this group and make sure you're part of this community, especially at work. But at the end of the day, who's paying for your bills? You are. If you ain't got it, you don't care about them people. You there to go to work and go back home. So there's also another flip side to that because I can't just talk about it from one side. I got to give the other side too. The other side is when it comes to getting to know the people at work to take full advantage of your job and your situation. Yeah, go ahead on, bring out the pies. You can spend as much as you can to try to fit in. There's a plus and a minus to trying to fit in. Majority of the time, you got to realize, read the room. Is it a toxic environment that you trying to be on part of this team? You want to be part of this conversation? You want to be part of the table? If the table ain't meant for you, don't go. It's okay. Get rid of FOMO in your life. You need to get rid of it. That is one of the things that causes a lot of people to go in debt, have all these financial situations, and the next thing you know, they're crying that they don't have money for anything, for the light bills, for the rent, for the food. Now they going homeless. These are the things that when you start thinking about who is out there right now causing these issues and problems for you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get rid of the toxicity. You got to get rid of it. And one of the ways is that you have to figure out how are these things showing up in your life that is causing you to slow down your progress, slow down where you want to take your family unit. Either it's the school, the environment that you're in, the city that you're living in. Is it the policies that are in your neighborhood, in your community that is causing you to like not save money? Is it that HOA that you're living in right now? Some people got these HOA. How can I say? If you're not compliant, they can actually cause a lot of issues financially down the road that you don't, and a whole nother headache that you don't need to deal with. So I want you to think about those. Secondly, is that when it comes to toxicity, you need to think about what it is that you're saying to yourself. Am I a bad person? No, you're not a bad person. You are who you need to be. Yes, you might have bad tendencies. Yes, you might have bad situations, but you're not a bad person because you have a reason, a rhyme and reason for the things that you're doing, the way how you're moving for your family. So I want you to think about that. Is this a time right now where you start thinking about, hey, I ain't got it, but I want to find a way to get to it. And so I want you to think about what it is that's toxic in your life and take one thing that is causing it to be toxic. Why is it taking up so much energy and so much space in your life? I want you to identify what that is. And the best way to do that is to really just sit down, be at peace. And the first thing that comes to mind that kind of like gets you to be irritated, that is more than likely the first thing to be toxic. Now, sometimes when you think about toxicity, it might creep up on you because think about antifreeze. Antifreeze has a sweet taste to it. It goes down smoothly. However, it's very toxic and you can die from it. You know how I know that? If you watch Investigation Discovery or Snapped or any of these crime shows, that is the number one agent to kill the next person. Now, like I said, this is just educational purposes only. Don't try to come at me about this stuff. I'm just saying, like, that's what I see based on Investigation Discovery. So I want y'all to think about that when y'all out here in these streets. But when it comes to talking about how you treating yourself, that is also negativity. But it's okay to acknowledge what you've done is wrong and not aligning with your values. And then once you acknowledge that, what are you doing to actually move it forward? What are you doing to improve that situation? Are you planning on doing it again? If you're doing it again, then it's kind of like, well, then you don't really feel that bad about it. Now you're doing it on purpose. But if it's something that you intentionally did not mean to do, or it was just done on a whim, then let's acknowledge that. Let's go ahead on and start moving forward and continue on that path that you want to take your life. Yes, it's a small setback. Yes, that you went on and bought, a $3,000 vacation when you only had $1,000 in your bank account, or even $200 in your bank account. You went on and bought it anyway because you was like, hey, my friends are going. I want to go, or I deserve it. It's my birthday, or I deserve it because I'm tired of this job. I just need to get away. So I'm going to spend $2,000 to get away. You can get away in a book. You can live through the words of other people. You can sit home and really enjoy the situation that provided you a space, a safe space, a roof over your head, some walls around, and a place to bathe and eat. It's okay to escape in the reality that you created. So, yes, your perception is your reality, but you don't need to make your reality tough for you to navigate real world. And what I mean by real world is if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. That's facts. Don't play victim. You can continue to play victim all day, but it ain't going to solve your problems. So when we talking about these tough times, we in tough times right now. Talking about you don't know when you're going to get fired tomorrow or not. A lot of people are out there right now, private sector and public sector. It's gone. What are they doing? They're going to be fighting for jobs too. So I want y'all to think about that. But let's take a little break right quick. We're going to dive into, see what they got on the stock market for the closing bell for the day. See what they got. Share my screen. Because I want y'all to see what they got going on. What we get. Let's play.
And there you hear it, the opening bell sounding on Wall Street. What will today bring after a rough day yesterday? That's the big question. The stock market suffered its worst day of the year after President Trump did not rule out the possibility of a recession amid his on-again, off-again tariffs. Those trade policies creating a volatile market that has investors on edge. Let's bring in NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung. He is on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange for us. Brian, good morning. So we're going to be seeing how things react just right off the bat. Futures, did they give us any sort of signal of what we can expect today, Brian?
Yeah, good morning, Joel. The markets are now actually open, and it is a red open with the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 down. I see the S&P 500 down about 0.3%. The Dow Jones down about 0.2, just about flat, down only about 70 points right now. But nonetheless, this is actually kind of a U-turn from earlier in the morning when market futures, again, because the markets don't open until 9:30, but implied pricing has suggested that some of these indexes could open up in the green after that, as you mentioned, a worst day of 2025 for stocks, with the S&P 500 falling 2.7% just yesterday. The NASDAQ composite, that's the tech-heavy sector, dropping by 4% just yesterday. Again, some hope among investors that maybe today we would have seen a rebound at the market open. That clearly not the case, at least for right now. The NASDAQ composite down about 0.1% as well. Again, mostly about flat, but still not what investors had been hoping for after what was a very jittery Monday of trading, Joe.
Yeah, this exact moment I was seeing red, but just barely red, and looks like things might be climbing back towards zero right now. Tariffs clearly back in the spotlight right now, Brian. Investors do seem pretty uneasy about the ripple effects. Talk about how big of a deal these tariffs have been for the market. Which sectors have been feeling the heat the most?
Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes to the stock market at large, anytime you talk about the stock market being down, because tech companies are so heavily weighted in those major indexes that we tend to look at, like Amazon, Meta, Google, those types of companies. Yes, the big tech companies have been taking a big hit. But I think that the broader question here is that not only are we looking at what was the worst day of 2025 for stocks yesterday, but it's in the context of what has been a pretty miserable few weeks for investors. As the tariff conversation ramped up, we did see the stock market market lose its gains for 2025, because at one point on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, we were up something like 5% year to date. All of that erased, and now we are now net negative for the year as a result of the conversation and the uncertainty that's been introduced into Wall Street and on Main Street, by the way, from the tariff war waged by President Donald Trump. Now, I do want to point out that all things considered, even when you zoom out when it comes to the losses, yes, it is indeed the case that the S&P 500 is down over 6% since Donald Trump's inauguration. The NASDAQ down 11%. That still pales in comparison to other types of downturns that we've seen. So this is not at all a recession like 2020. This is not at all a recession like 2008, 2009. But nonetheless, it has underscored this concern. And I was just talking with a trader just a few minutes ago that was saying, look, he doesn't think it ends here. He thinks that there could be more opportunities to, in his words, buy stocks at a discount, which implies that the stocks could even go lower from here.
You know, right now, Wall Street is watching Washington, and it's not just because of the tariffs. There's a government funding bill that's on the table right now, fears at a government shutdown. Is that also something that investors are keeping an eye on right now?
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to, by the way, the government shutdown, there's a lot of kind of tie-ins to specifically the bond market and the way that U.S. Treasuries trade, because of the concern that if the U.S. government cannot keep the lights on, then maybe they can't pay out the coupons on the U.S. Treasuries that investors hold. So that is part of it. I think if you just kind of were to wrap all of this into one word, it would be uncertainty, because it's uncertainty about whether or not the United States is going to tariff another country on any given day or any given hour. We saw that seesaw in the tariff headlines just last week. You have the uncertainty also coming from the government shutdown. Will we be able to avoid a shutdown come Friday into Saturday? And then there's kind of the other aspect of this, which is a bit secondary, but how will the Federal Reserve respond to all of this? They're the ones that have been trying to lever interest rates to take care of it.
From Singapore, Carl, where I'm here for the Converge conference at CNBC. And good morning to you, Mr. Secretary in Washington. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Sarah.
Well, let's start right there, because Carl just went through the markets. It's another sort of turbulent day here. The volatility has really picked up. We're down another more than 3.5% for the week, almost 10% from the recent highs. I know that you guys have brushed this off, but I do wonder if you're starting to get concerned now that these losses are picking up.
Well, look, Sarah, what we're focused on is we're focused on the real economy. Can we create an environment where there are long-term gains in the market and long-term gains for the American people? I think, having been in the markets for 35 years, I know the market is prone to big unwinds like this. I think we've seen a lot of position unwinding, and I can't really speak to that.
I guess, and this has been consistent with your view, but 62% of Americans own stocks. I mean, it's near 20-year high. So how can the White House not be concerned about hardworking Americans' 401k plans?
Look, Sarah, I didn't say we're not concerned. I'm not concerned about a little bit of volatility over 3 weeks, because if you look over the long term, the reason stocks are a safe and great investment is because you're looking over the long term. If you start looking at micro horizons, stocks become very risky. So we are focused over the medium long term. And I can't tell you that the market's going to go up today, tomorrow, next week. But I can tell you that if we put proper policies in place, it's going to lay the groundwork for both real income gains and job gains and continued asset gains.
Understood that you're focused on the long term, and part of it is these tariffs, but now there's concerns about a possible government shutdown. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer saying the Democrats are going to reject a government funding bill. We have this deadline tomorrow night. What is your expectation, Mr. Secretary, and how destructive would this be?
Well, it'd be incredibly disruptive. And look, Sarah, I know you said you've been in Singapore all week, but I think the underreported story since January 20th and of the past few weeks is this incredible Republican unity and this Democratic disarray. Is that we've seen Speaker Johnson get through with President Trump's help a tax bill, get it over the Senate. We saw a clean CR bill, And if Senator Schumer wants to reject it, hurt the American people, close down the government, and they're going to own any of the problems that go with it, including economic slowdown. And if this is all they got, then they ought to regather and think about what they're doing to the American people and the economy.
You do think that this a shutdown would cause economic harm?
It can't be good.
Yeah, I mean, look, the market's been really focused on tariffs, Mr. Secretary, and it's been another sort of up and down ride this week. A lot of uncertainty among business leaders. This morning, President Trump threatened a 200% tariff on Europe on wines, champagnes, and alcoholic products coming out of France and other EU countries. And I do wonder how that comes to be. Was this premeditated? Did you know about this? As this is in retaliation to what Europe did, in retaliation to the steel and aluminum tariffs, but 200%?
Look, I was with the Business Roundtable yesterday. I think it was 135 CEOs, and I talked to them about our plan, which includes tariffs, deregulation, and what I call reprivatizing the government, and bringing down this incredible level of government spending. And one or two items with one trading block, I'm not sure why that's a big deal for the markets.
I think that the big deal for the market is just the not knowing what's next and what the target is necessarily going to be, and also not knowing where this stops. Because if we ratchet up tariffs, they retaliate, we go higher, then what?
Well, look, sir, it could go the other way too. Look, that's the nature of these reciprocal tariffs. That all President Trump is asking is for countries to take theirs off. So we have identified some strategic industries, the steel, aluminum, likely autos, but everything else is up for grabs, and that's going to be a decision that's made by our trading partners.
Yeah, that was one of my questions, which is how these tariffs come off, if that is ultimately the goal, because it feels like once they go on, it just gets out of control from there.
Well, again, that's a decision by our trading partners if they want to ratchet things up. And I could tell you, as somebody who's studied the history.
It'll be nice if I actually took myself off mute. So one of the things is that we need to kind of think about these tough times that are coming. As how resilient is your funding right now? How important is it that you cannot make your payments next week? So one of the ways that you can do, if you find yourself in a situation where there's uncertainty, the best way is to play defense. And one of the things you can do is start cutting out your entertainment. What are the things that you're not streaming anymore? What are the things that you're not using as much? Are you not utilizing your Netflix account as much as you used to? Are you not utilizing your, I guess you could say, your Amazon account? Go ahead on and start cutting all those things now, because we don't know what's going to happen. Either you can play scared or you can try to make some more money. One of the things that I enjoy doing is trying to play defense as much as possible to get comfortable, to really drive in or drive home and tighten up my budget, meaning that I'm making sure that everything is accounted for, because right now, when they let you go, you ain't got nothing else to do. So what do you plan on doing when they cut your funding, when they pretty much cut off the tap? And one of the ways you can do that is to start looking at your skills that you already have right now. How can you pivot? One of the things about pivoting is that you need to understand what are that skill sets that you have right now that you can actually utilize in another business, inside your own personal business, or even to assist somebody else in. What are your expertise? What are the things that people actually come to you about? These are the things you need to start thinking about. What is your network looking like? Does your network, are people in your network looking for people to hire? Who right now can provide you the income that you need for what you want? So again, with all these people that are being fired, or even if you look at the industry from the farming industry that's being attacked because of the grants are being taken away, you got to look at from outside countries that are coming in to kind of take up some of the farmland. They buying up the land to help out the farmers, or even subsidizing some of the stuff. So instead of paying tariffs on products coming into land, if they already own products and businesses inland, they don't have to worry about taking products or doing things externally. So you have to think about strategically what is happening. How is the trickle down effect is going to impact your life? So again, we going through tough times right now. You need to figure out what are the tough times or the tough things that you have right now in your life that is actually impacting you. Hey, what's good now? Thank you for coming through. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. So what are the things that when it comes to figuring out what you need to do during these tough times is to really, again, tighten up on your budget, tighten up on your network, utilize those skills that you have and how you can pivot to another realm. And also, this is where you become more resilient. How in the world are you going to make some income if you were to lose your job today? I want you to think about that. What problems are you able to solve for somebody that somebody's willing to pay you for? Is it, hey, I just need a way to organize my room, or I need a way to increase, to make more income? Because say if you were actually in finances at your prior job and you was like, hey, this is the way how you actually can make more money. One of the things that you can do that I've already went through a lot on my podcast already is to talk to you and show you how to actually create a digital product that you can sell online. I taught you how to create a book that you can actually sell online. You can type up everything in ChatGPT, cover what these different chapters. Boom, you got a book that's out there. And the cool thing about doing through KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing, is that once you have it up there, you actually get paid on every time somebody do a page turn. So I'm flying through a lot of this stuff because I already talked about it in depth in other shows. So I'm just trying to bring this back down to help you be resilient with your finances. Now, some of you already have kids. You're trying to figure out, okay, how can they be part of this process? Have you looked into vending machines? Right now, people are fighting over these Pokemon cards right now. They have vending machines just for the Pokemon cards. You can actually do that. They have vending machines. They have human vending machines where you strap somebody up. You can like control them and drop them down into like a bag of chips or something like that. And they just grab whatever they can and whatever they can fit inside the chute to drop off. That's what they get to keep. So these are really cool different ways and strategies you can look into. Right now, a lot of people are aging out. People are ready to retire, but a lot of them can't. And they got businesses that they need to let go. So the one way that you can actually look at how to actually buy a business, I'm going to show you right now. So what you can do, there's a company called bizbuysell.com. I'm just making sure it doesn't show up all my stuff. Okay, let's see. Share this tab. Yep. Let's see. View. Am I sharing this one? Oh, duh. It'd be nice if I had it to the stage. Here we go. Okay, obviously that's too small. So let's go this route. All right. So this is a website to actually help you look for businesses and buy them. A lot of people have them for sale. So it is what it is. So we're going to look in Maryland. They got all the industries. We're just going to look for businesses right now because some franchises, if you got the money for a franchise, that's a different thing. So we're going to look into, let's see, we in finance, right? This is a financial podcast. Just gonna hit search for finance. Now this is the price. So you got Allstate. Yeah. You got like a tax accountant services right now. So they even tell you the cash flow. It's in Rundle Mills. They got Montana Collection Services. That's for sale. Accounting firm in Frederick. So a lot of these people are aging out. Like, look at this, Essex. So CPA practice for sale. That's it. Only 10 results. Interesting. Okay, so that's just an example. What's one that everybody like to use but have to use? Oh, restaurants. Everybody like to eat, right? But keep in mind that restaurants usually only make about 2% over what they actually sell. So I'm gonna give you a brief history. If you ever like the History Channel, they actually have a really good show called The Food That Made America. And what happened was these two brothers were actually looking to start a pizza shop. And they actually bought a local sub shop that actually happened to have a brick oven. So they made pizzas, that place made pizzas kind of like 1 or 2 off. But then they decided to like expand it. And what I mean by expanding it, they were looking into just doing pizza only. And one of the brothers was like, I think we should do different variety of subs. I don't think we should be doing pizzas only. I think we should find different ways to do this. So when a caller came in, one of their workers answered the phone and he was like, hey, so the two brothers, one that said we should only sell pizzas, the other one said we should sell more subs. They were standing there by the guy on the phone, and the person was like, hey, I would like to order a pizza. And the guy at work on the phone was like, we can make the pizza. So because they decided to make that pizza, the other brother who wanted the subs decided to leave. And because of that, he decided to take the car with him inside the settlement. Because he took the car with him in the settlement, that caused them to not even like be able to try to sell this product, like, because that was the only delivery car that they had. And what they did was, so the other brother sold out, whatever. Come to find out, fast forward, now this is a multi-billion-dollar company, and the company is called Domino's. So the Domino's brothers started because they bought a sub shop and started selling pizzas. They niched down to what they can do best. And by doing so, they were able to do that. But during that time frame of them trying to create a pizza, which was a peasant food, they took a moment to advertise that and bring that to light, to realize like, hey, this is something that we can all utilize. But the northern people in Italy, they settled in New York and everything like that, they was like, oh, y'all can't be trying to make pizza. This ain't no real pizza and blah, blah, blah. But they was like, well, ours is a little thicker crust. We got a thicker end of the pizza. I forgot what it's called. I call it the crust, but also the thicker bed as well. Because their pizza is a little thicker, they was like, hey, we not trying to be authentic pizza. We're just a pizza fan club, I guess they were trying to put themselves, so they don't try to get into fights or whatever with the rest of the Italians that were actually making good pizza. So because they were doing it that way, they were able to kind of create this brand all around because they bought a sub shop. So I want you to, so that's the reason why I'm going through this process, to teach you how to buy a business, or at least where to look to buy a business, so that you can start your vision, see where it goes. And because, like I said, we in tough times right now. Tough times got to come up with creative ways to make some money. And this is one of the ways. If you got some extra cash, you can make it happen. So I'm going to blow this back up so y'all can see this, and we're just going to look at some other businesses. let's see. Now, if y'all are wondering, have I ever done this before? No. Have I listened to a lot of podcasts of people who did? Yes. And what to look for, how to make sure you're not getting shafted when you buy these. They say always make sure you get a broker. I know it sounds bad, like if you got the money, just go do it. No, the broker is there to help you out because what they do is almost like a realtor for when you buy a home. You want that broker to look out for the nooks and nannies and the cracks inside the policies that they have there. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that there is something called you can come in as an intern. What that means is I think it's called a bear clause, which means that you actually have to go inside this business. They have to prove to you for 1 year that this business is really making, let's say for this one right here, it says it's making $50,000 cash flow. So what is happening is you can come in as the new owner, learn the rules, learn the processes, learn the SOPs, which is standard operations and procedures. You learning how the customers are working, learning how the workers clock in, clock out, how do you do payroll. You learning all this stuff on the clock. You're not really you're still getting paid because the owner is selling it to you. Because you can say like, hey, if you can prove that this business is making this much, then yes, I will pay you the whole amount. And if it doesn't, that gets you out of that clause. So these are the things that I want you to look for when you're trying to buy these businesses. It's very important to understand what's going on when you're looking at them. So let me just click on this one. This is a casual fast food restaurant in PG County. Let's see what it got. So they talk about the gross, which is 385,000. You got the FFE. The FFE, let's look at this. This stands for, I'm gonna zoom this in so y'all can see it. This stands for furniture, fixtures, and equipment that will remain with the business, such as desk, offices, office cubicles, decor, elements of the restaurant or showroom. So like, those, if you go buy a restaurant, you got those tables sitting out. The tables and chairs are part of that process. The computers, all the machines, pots, pans, dishes, all that, the manufactured equipment. The reason why you can actually write off the depreciation of the assets that are actually inside the business every year. So you actually can write off some of this FFE. So you got that. Also, you got to look at the inventory, the raw materials. I'm gonna zoom in on that too so y'all can see that. If I can zoom, come on. So you're looking at the value of the merchandise, the raw materials, any unfinished products or finished products. So the reason why you're saying unfinished or finished, because when you're thinking about, let's just say a printing shop, and they got like a lot of printers and they halfway finished a print, or they're working on a job and they just didn't finish because the money wasn't there, what have you. They have to keep that there. So think about it this way, like if they made some bread or whatever, the bread left over, they can probably leave that, or some old ingredients, because this is a restaurant. And so like they say, if there's no inventory price listed, then the seller did not prove it. Did not prove it. So they're saying all of this. Let's see, the location. Some of them try to hide their location because, they don't want to advertise that they're being for sale. So they'll probably be very vague. Let's see if they actually will show the address though. But look at the photos. It looked like a greasy spoon spot where they can sell like a little bit of everything in there. They only got one photo that I see. Like I say, let's just say some graphics. If you're really looking into like really doing it that way, they only got 3 employees, so that means it's a small shop, And right here, this is what I was telling you. This is what you're looking for. This is what you're looking for. We got what you're looking for. So they say the seller will train, which means that reason why selling is because the seller is relocating. which means that could be a couple things. Things are getting expensive. They got to move. You know, family is sick. A lot of people move when family is sick. They got to go back home. They want to be by their loved ones. And it's already currently an established franchise. So that means it's already making some money. You only got 3 employees. Small shop, which means that you can easily go in, get a couple people under your belt, and start making some money. Now, is 50,000 a lot? Probably not. But right now in this economy, if you think about it, in this economy, they taking whatever they can get at $140,000. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. Okay, let's see. Oh, they want me to pay $20 to get the full sheet. I ain't got that kind of dollars, okay? But this is a business that's for sale. Now, can you get something cheaper? Sure. I want y'all to give me an industry. Give me some type of industry that you think that we should be looking into, because I want to see what's out there to kind of help you out. Say if you're looking for anything. I mean, I'm doing restaurants right now just to show it as an example because I like to eat. But also I'm looking for a for those of you who are joining, I'm looking for something in real life to do an event. Either in Columbia, Maryland, I'm looking at Laurel, Maryland, and I'm looking at Bowie, Maryland to host an event. So, and I'm thinking, like, if I had my own restaurant, could you imagine? Like, I was like, hey, this is my restaurant. This is, I'm hosting this event at my own restaurant, and just call it a day. So, oh man, they got a pizzeria in Ocean City. Talk about prime real estate. It's only 250,000. I'm saying only like I got money, right? But anyway, this is my wishful shopping. Like, they saying rent is $2,500 a month with a 15-year lease. If you think about it, that's about the price of some people like houses to rent. Like, I'm too busy with my main restaurant and I don't have qualified people to run this place. Top of line equipment, blah, 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 great location. So again, times are tough. Are people willing to, come into a restaurant? I mean, this place does look nice. Like some fresh equipment. You could throw some pizzas up in there. Everything is nice and clean looking. You come in and go out. They even got the address. Like, not the address, but the actual business right there. So it was called the Pasta Express, I guess. Best pasta in town. So if y'all want to look that up right quick, see what they got. Let me just look that up right now. This is in Ocean City. Let me see if I can look that up. Call it Pasta Express in Ocean City. The reason why I'm curious, let's see. They even got TripAdvisor right now. Let me share this screen. Share this tab. All right. So Pasta Express. What is that? I thought I just saw it. All right. Well, I gotta find it. Pasta Express, found their location. Error 500. Look like it must be not working. Let's see what this one. Okay. Yep. So it look like they already got things set up, so the website's already there. So it's part of the price that they gotta give it to you for. So they're doing catering, contact us, about employment. They even got gift cards, which is good. I don't think this is the same place though. because this one is these are two big companies. All right, I'm gonna go back to this one. They call it a pizza restaurant, but whatever. Something to think about, you know. Give me a business. You said coffee shops. Let's see, coffee shops for sale. I like how we just go ahead on and this is what we're doing today. Okay, let me go back from Maryland. Right. We're gonna do industry. So we're moving food and restaurant out the way. We're gonna say coffee shops and cafes. Okay. So you got Dundalk, you got Gaithersburg, and surprisingly, these are actually pretty cheap though. For only 150,000 or less. Because I've seen some people say that they pay about $3,000 just for one machine, just to make the espresso machine. It look like they're selling the whole thing. Huh, they got a hookah cafe. Never thought about it. Okay, this is a franchise called Lean Kitchen. So if you're looking for that, some of these bistros though. I mean, 60 grand. It's a fire sale, great opportunity to run a bubble tea store. I mean, in Germantown, that's really near. I think this DC, roughly. Let's see what he at. Oh, Montgomery County. They got to be like South Montgomery County. Germantown. Okay, so you got 2 years old for your equipment. Remember, we were talking about the FFEs. So 2 years old, even though they didn't put the price here. So that's something to be considered too. Even though they gross and they making 250,000, they asking for 60,000. So cash flow is only 48,000. So it's almost like you breaking even within your first 2 years in business, if not sooner, depending on how you market it. But look at this rent though. That rent is going to be beastly. They only been in business for 3 years, and they're selling it already. There's got to be a reason why they leaving it though. They didn't put a reason. It's interesting. I don't know. For bubbles tea, something to think about. What else I got? Let's see. Look up Duck Donuts. Well, Duck Donuts, it's hard to look up actual. Maybe I could look up franchises because Duck Donuts is a franchise. So let's see. Delete that. Just put in Duck Donuts. Yeah, it doesn't find the actual like name of the industry. But we can look up Donut Shop though. Let's see, Donut Shop. It's only got Gaithersburg, which is a bakery. So you got some options. For me, when I was looking for things, I always look for like hotels. Because I was like, I want to be a hotel owner. Well, we ain't got one in Maryland, but you do got hotels in the US. Yeah, there we go. Let me sort this by cash money. So we're gonna go cheap. So on the cheap end, hey, anybody want to have a hostel in Costa Rica? $65. So 65,000. Could you imagine you flying your friends and family to Costa Rica? You're like, yeah, just stay at my my hostel. I got you, fam. Okay. So there's vacation rentals. They got a hostel in, was that Minnesota? Dang, man. Okay, they're showing their numbers. It's just that the hospitality industry got hit hard. That's the thing. Let's see. Georgia, I mean, ain't bad. Oregon for 2 something. You got a vintage Texas sale. Like, it gets you to think about some of these hotels. Like, could you really own these and really do it up? So keep in mind, think about the hotel industry or just many apartments, and you just got a front desk and just charge people at the front. That's it, really. So let's see, they got a hotel bar restaurant. That ain't bad. I mean, some of these like hotels and stuff like that are just the price of houses nowadays. I mean, the way how things are going. So I mean, if you get think about it. This right here is at $699,000, right? And this is a bed and breakfast in Kansas City. So they selling pretty much it's a house, a 10-bedroom house for $700,000. You can technically just kind of say, like, you know what, we shut down this whole thing and just keep the property. It'd be like, you know, my friend's family live here. That's how it'd be. Let's see what y'all saying. Let's see what y'all saying here. All right, let me move this stuff out the way. I got so many things because StreamYard that made things so complicated nowadays. Okay, yes, that would be awesome to own a hotel. Let's see. Okay, Jen, you said it would be cool if your partner with an indie business to host events that you're planning and so more flexibility. Okay, so you mean like so much more flexibility and don't have to hold to the minimum. I guess the minimums large venue. Oh, the minimums as large venue space would put up. That is true. Because that's one of the things I have looked around at some of the restaurants that people had recommended. Some of the bigger chains, they wanted like $5,000 just for 3 hours. And some of the smaller ones wanted $200 for 1 hour. So there's a vast difference between the two that I looked at so far. So I will start posting myself going to these different restaurants. I think I'm going to try to start maybe this weekend. I'll just try to make a drive around just to kind of check out some restaurants, and I'll post about that process. Let me see what we got here. You have to think about the events. Yeah. So thinking about the events is one of the things that I find kind of tough about, like, mostly they all say find a location first before you start pricing out tickets. For me, I have to put the tickets out there first to see how many people are going to be interested, because I don't want to book and be tied into a venue and not that many people sign up. So that's one of my dilemmas of trying to get things together with all of this that's going on, is because it is what it is. Let me see if I can pull up my, what's it called? My request, my ticket. Did I create I created an event on Eventbrite. Let me see which account did I put it under though, so y'all can see my event. Browse events, manage my event. Okay, so I do have one event, no tickets sold yet. Because right now the tickets are on sale. They're like $20. Because I gotta, like I said, I need to see how many people are going to be excited about it. Let me see if I can share the link inside of here. Let me share this tab too. So I'm new to all this event planning stuff. I usually don't do this. Obviously this image is AI generated, So they just do some things up there because you can tell it's AI generated because everybody like teeth are like really off for some reason. And so it just trying to create something called the financial strategies for the sandwich generation. Location TBD. There are no refunds. And it's like $20 and $35. So because this actually helps me to get the idea of where to host it. And then this actually will help out a lot. So let me see if I can find the share button so I can put this in the chat. Because it, like I said, this helps out with let's see, oh, share event. There we go. Duh. I was like, I'm new to this event stuff, so bear with me. I'm trying to figure this out. Oh geez, the link is so long. Whatever. It's so long that they had to put it in 2 different ones. Oh man. That sucks. Let me see if I can try to get a shorter link. Let me see if I just copy that. Yeah, it's just way too long. I'm gonna have to play around with it with this thing to see if I can with the URL to kind of make it smaller so that I can share it out with everybody. Man, this sucks. All right. If anything, if you go to, I wonder wish they had like a shorter one. Where you could say search event, financial strategies for the sandwich generation. This generation. Oh my gosh, it's like not helpful at all. Anyway, I'll figure it out. But that's the link for it. I'm not sure why they don't make shorter links. But right now I'm having it on Thursday. I'm gonna change it to like a Saturday because I like brunch. They usually have like good mimosas, good food. Like I like breakfast food. So, you can have something to eat, some finger food, get some things out there. Sorry I don't sound all excited. It's late. And I'm just tired, you guys. It's been one of those days. But one of the things about trying to set this up that I'm learning, again, talking about tough times, I'm trying to learn how to navigate a whole new spectrum, a whole new realm. And one of the ways of doing that, and I'm trying to keep pushing myself to the other levels, is by trying. And so I want to take out through that process of building this out, trying to figure out how to do event planning. And because I never did it before, we're going to learn together. If y'all don't mind, I'll share a little bit every day. Like not every day, but every time I'm going live, just to kind of see what y'all thoughts are, how we can do things. Have you checked out some of the wine? Have you said the wine vineyards? I've checked out one wine vineyard. If you can just send me some wineries to check out that are in the Laurel, Bowie, or even Columbia area, I'm more than willing to check those out just to kind of see what they have to offer. And all the stuff takes time. So like I said, I'm trying to do something in August. So I'm trying to do this now, and hopefully I can lock something in by like maybe late April so that I can then say like, okay, this is how many people I know for sure that can make it that already signed up. Probably double that amount as we get closer. So that's the goal. Now, like I said, the link, I'm not sure why the link is being linky and it's long for no reason. They got to figure out another system, or I can try to find a way to create a short link. If you guys knows how to make a short link, please let me know. I'm very old school with a lot of this stuff. So That's how we're gonna do it. All right. So we are to the top of the hour. I just want to thank you all again. Make sure that y'all continue to try to avoid toxic situations, avoid talking toxicity to yourself and in your life. Continue on to give me a like button. Continue on to share this with everybody who you thought this was beneficial for. And I look forward to having talks with y'all next week. Hopefully, y'all be safe. And remember, there's pie tomorrow. So make sure that y'all have pie. It's Pie Day. There's also, if you guys like free food. So I think every Monday for the month of March, Chick-fil-A is giving away chicken nuggets every time you buy a milkshake. So you got that. There is also free donuts at Krispy Kreme. All you have to do is just wear green. So there you go. So you got some free snacks on a tight budget. Like I said, tough times right now. You gotta get creative. If you want to feed your family, feed your face. Not hide your kids, hide your wife. But so I can say that again. We said where it's Chick-fil-A. You're getting Chick-fil-A, you're getting every Monday, you're getting chicken nuggets every time you buy a milkshake. You get 8-piece or something like that. If you're going to wear green, go to Krispy Kreme donuts. They'll give you 3 donuts for that. Then you have on December 20th. No, not December 20th. March 20th. They're giving you free ice cream. All you do is just walk in and you get free ice cream from Dairy Queen on March 20th. So that's 7 days from now. Actually, I wonder if that's like the next live. Yeah. So the next live is on March 20th. Go ahead on. I might be in line. Some of y'all might see me in line. Get my free ice cream for Dairy Queen. Some people don't like Dairy Queen. It's okay. Just get your ice cream, give it to somebody else. So that's one way of doing it. And also it's St. Patrick's Day this coming Monday. So please drink responsibly. If you know somebody, if you know how you are when you're drunk, go ahead on and pass your keys on over to somebody else. And yes, I do want to share that as well. I don't have a trivia tonight, so I just want to wish y'all all the best and y'all be safe. I'm out. Peace. Do I got an outro? Yeah, I got my outro. All right, you guys. Y'all be safe. Peace.